Hey everybody, it's me, Hetty. Let's make some, oh my goodness, so good, steamed squash, and I'm using Vidalia onions. You can just use white or yellow onion, and you will love this. It'll be a go-to side for you once you know how to do this. So easy. I've already got most of my squash all cut up, cleaned and cut up, washed, cleaned, cut up. This is my last one. And look, I didn't get to hand pick these at the store, so they were delivered through Amazon, which normally they're good, but this batch kind of had some marks on them and stuff, so I'm just going to show you what I do. I just take a paring knife and I just barely, I don't dig down into the squash. I literally just take that spot off and then I go around like that. Then I'll cut these ends off, so you get the idea. So I'm going to finish doing that to this one and cut the ends off, then we'll go next. Got it all cleaned up. It had a few just minor blemishes. I do go through the squash at the store. I don't touch every single one of them, but I don't want you to think I'm one of those kind of busybodies. I don't do that either, but I do check my squash, and these are also, we're not Crookneck, but they're good. They're yellow squash. So I go in and I go about 3/4 of an inch. Sometimes I get a little happy and accidentally cut it a little too thin, but I try to stick with like that. That's about 3/4 of an inch. So the reason I do that is squash it gets tender really quick. It cooks really fast. And there you have it. So I'm finished with the squash. And I know I'm kind of jumping around to you, but this is so simple. And look, guys, the reason I showed that squash getting chopped, you know, I normally don't do that. But there are so many people out there that, you know, they just simply have never had squash. So they bypass it in the produce area. And boy, it's some of the best eating you can have. Especially when you do it like my mama did. This is my mama's recipe. Nothing big. It's not her original recipe. I'm just sharing that. I mean, from the time I can remember, it was one of my favorite side dishes. You can cut it several ways. You can just slice the onion, and I go about, I don't know, 1/2 inch-ish, as you can see. And I'll tell you what I do after this. I'm gonna chop this onion up, but like my point a minute ago was, and I know I got sidetracked, and I'm sorry, I'm bad about that, you know. Sepsis 3 times can do that to a person, you know. I do the best I can, but I have my moments. I think that's why I ramble sometimes. Not that, I'm not saying I was never a rambler, but you know, I know it's worse, but please don't get aggravated with me. Anyway, I'm gonna finish this other onion. I'm gonna separate these rings, and then I'm gonna tell you what I do when I'm gonna steam these. And these are, they're off the hook. Okay, so let me finish this other onion. I'll bring you back. Okay, I did already get this other onion done, but I had this one end, and I'm going to show you something. You don't have to keep them in rings. I like to just, well, here, I cut that one accident. But anyway, I like to just do this. I just separate them like that. You don't have to even do that. I'm just, what do I say? I'm just showing you how I do it. Okay, but if you want to mix it in more with the squash or whatever, that's fine. You can go in and do your halvesies. Now, why do you separate them, you say? Why not just throw them in? Well, you can do that. And the truth be told, the method I use, they probably do semi-separate. But I go ahead and just do it. I can't stand these things. So I sometimes when I just see an obvious when I pull it out, that little tough in between the layers thing. So anyway, what I was going to say to you is, I throw my onions in for about 5 minutes before I put the squash in. The squash gets done so quick, and by the time your onions would be equivalent to the squash, your squash would be overdone. So when I take you to the stove, that's what we'll do. Gonna have to move her around to get her done. And I'm of course gonna get my steam water going before I bring you back. See you in a minute. One more little quick note I did want to just show you. I'm not quite ready for these yet. I haven't even put my water on the boil yet, but I'm just prepping. You don't want to prep too far ahead. You can, but just put them in the fridge if you do. But if you're gonna just
leave them out for, you know, less than half an hour or whatever. Just cover them full. You can do that if you put them in the fridge too. And that'll just keep them fresh, a little more fresh. You don't want that air just getting everything starting to dry it out. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. Here we go. I may or may not have mentioned this. I usually start my onions first. And my water just got to boiling. And pardon me, it's a little awkward. I got a tripod kind of in my way. Trying to get y'all a good seat. And we're going to let these go. I'm just spreading them out. And like I told you in the last segment, you can kind of cut them like you want to. Sometimes I cut them in half. And sometimes I just do them like this. And after a few minutes, I'll be able to come in here. I was lazy. I didn't sit there and separate them. There's no need to. I mean, they'll be so tender you can cut them anyway. So, as you can see, I just kind of have these evenly spread. And it's awkward, folks. I am trying to work with this tripod here. I've got a nice size steamer, but if you got a Dutch oven and a little steamer insert, I used one of those for years. I got this nice pot as a gift one year, and I love it, and I've had it for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years, I guess. And on goes the lid. I'm going to check them back in about 5 minutes. Well, I guess it'd help a lot if the lid was on there correctly. Okay, 5 minutes. We shall return. My timer went off. I gave them a little stir. As you can see, they're looking perfect. And now, in goes my squash. A little awkward for me because I've got this tripod right in front of me. So let me do this and not make a mess, because y'all know I know how to make a mess. And it looks like it's piled up too much, right? But I'll fix that. All right, I'll bring you right back. Let me fix this. It's awkward for me. Alrighty, here. As you can see, I went up from the bottom. I just usually put my spoon in there, and you just kind of sometimes got to be a little slow and just come up through the middle, and that'll disperse those onions throughout the squash. Okay, I don't salt and pepper until the end. And as you can see, after I got them all in, they went in just fine. Lid's gonna go back on. And I'm gonna come back and check them in 5 minutes. It's been 5 minutes. They're absolutely perfect, just the way I like them. Not to death, but very tender. You adjust that time with the way that you like it. But right now, my flame's out, and I will dish you up some. Now, I know my lighting is not the best right now, and I forgot to hook my other light up, but I'm going to show you. Here's some on a plate, and here's what I do, and it's hard to do while I just come in. I microwave a little bit of butter, and I just put a little butter on there. Salt to taste, if I can do this around a tripod. Salt and pepper to taste. And honey, if you have not tried this, and if you think you don't like squash, just give this a try. It's easy. And I do want to make mention that you want to make this last. Make it last. As you can see, it didn't take me. Once my water in my steamer was boiling, everything was prepped, and so we were 10 minutes from finish. So you want to be taking this up. Do not leave it in your steamer. It will continue to cook, and you'll come get you a spoon. It'll be squash mush with mush onion. So I just wanted to make mention of that. Take it up, and as you can see, I took mine up and put it in a bowl. We're about to eat. So, but I just want to tell you, do not leave it on the steamer, because I don't think the camera will pick this up, but it's still just steaming. There's no fire under it. Okay. I hope you'll try this and let me know how you liked it. The thickness of your squash is up to you. Just remember, the thinner, it literally wouldn't be 2 or 3 minutes. You don't want to overcook it. Now, if you want it to be overcooked, some people do. Some people like their broccoli like that. Now, I don't want to crunch to mine. I want it done. Mine's done, and yet to be done firm, if that makes sense. If you do try it and like it, whatever, if there's something you did different, this is a base recipe, folks. You can add what you want to add. There's all kinds of things to do it. But sometimes just please let your steamed vegetables stand on their own. You don't need to be adding something to everything. Is it good? Y'all know I've got other squash dishes and I make them different. But this is just fresh steamed squash with the flavor of that Vidalia onion, just amazing. No overkill. So let me know in a comment how you liked it. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.